no sound to it.
So that's the first. That was the first round, right? That was the first.
Yeah, so this is gonna be the very first grappling round. I guess we should first say, like, hi everybody. We are shooting a commentary on footage we've already posted on YouTube. I'm Dan. I'm the guy you'll see later on with tattoos.
I'm Greg. I'm the dude wearing jeans right there.
Yeah.
That's about to get floundered around.
Yeah.
So the guy in gray is Justin. He's a friend of ours.
And the other guy was what, Matt?
Yeah, Matt.
Okay.
Matt's gonna be shooting most of the video. You'll see him probably near the end.
Yeah.
There's Dan.
Yeah, so the reason we're coming back and doing this with commentary is YouTube politics. We had music playing in the background. Someone's trying to make money off the video, so we're like, fuck it, delete it and put up just commentary. So we're just gonna kind of discuss our training session and whatever else random stuff pops up.
Alright, so I guess just a little background on me. I've been doing martial arts, like traditional karate type stuff since I was like 8. Got into MMA, and so long story short, as far as MMA goes, I'm a striker. I like to hit people. Grappling for me tends to be defensive and a way to get to a spot where I can hit a dude. Justin, the guy I'm grappling with right now, he was a high school, I think like tournament wrestler, like high school wrestler guy.
Yeah, he told me he was pretty.
Yeah, he apparently did like really well. He either won tournaments or almost won tournaments, or like was pretty well up there in the bracket. He also did a couple years of boxing after high school, and so he likes to be on the ground. As you can see right there, he can outmaneuver me pretty well. He doesn't have any he doesn't have much jiu-jitsu experience, so as far as like submission things go, he doesn't know the techniques all that well.
And you usually notice that with wrestlers too. Like they'll be really good up to a point, and it's like they don't have like the information on how to continue. Like even like right now, how he's all toppy and you see he's grabbing your arm. Like he doesn't know how to proceed. Like he did what he was trained to do, get you on your back, and then Greg kicks in.
And then just whatever little advantage I can
get. Yeah.
So and the advice I always give to anyone that has any kind of grappling, like wrestling type experience, is like, Dan, this is actually what you told me. So if you see a limb, just torque it. Just try to break it off. And eventually something may probably work.
Yeah.
And so that's... And I'm pretty sure him and I spend the rest of his time against the wall.
Yeah.
Now, I weigh about $180. He weighs about 200.
You told me he was 205.
205,
right around
about
that.
200 pounds. So not a crazy weight difference.
No.
But
yeah, here we go. Something. We were doing 4-minute rounds, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-minute rounds and just kind of. So we had a pretty open-ended training night. We had him and then Matt, and because usually it's just me and Greg, and we had new people. And we kind of just wanted to feel out the group and see where everyone's strengths were. Like we just didn't want to like have Greg kickbox everyone to death. We kind of wanted to feel everybody out. So we actually did a good amount of grappling, and then me and Greg did the bulk of the sparring, and that's where Matt comes in.
Yep.
And then we do what I love. We do like knife attacks with a broken wooden katana.
A katana that we broke while we were sword fighting.
Yeah, those. We need to get more swords. Me and Danny were sparring with them, and they're just taped together, and underneath it's just like pulp. But so yeah, you'll see eventually. I think here we actually bring it back to center. The one thing about what was his name again? Justin. He was very, very aggressive. I think it was just due to the stress of the moment. Gotta think Justin probably was it was late at night we did this. He got driven down to Delaware an hour away, and 10 minutes later he's fighting in someone's basement. So we try to keep a friendly environment going through the whole thing.
The kids' toys on the other side of the room.
Yeah,
touch.
Yeah, this is our dojo. So yeah, we're usually train down in the basement or outside.
All right, so in this is where you're gonna watch me get just trampled over.
So my mindset going into this, I just watched Greg grapple, and Greg has skills, I would say, but you easily get thrown back in the category of being like really, really tense when you grapple.
Yes.
Like really just kind of extending limbs and being really tense. So I just went into this with the mindset. I just had to be really loose and relaxed, and I knew I'd come out okay. Like that you were just going to be so pumped up from your other match.
Also, like at that point, just you are so dead on about how I get like I'm hyper stressed when I grapple because it's just like not my thing. That like by that time I'm already gassed. Like we'd go for
Yeah.
4 minutes, and I'm like, oh my god.
And it was hot as fuck down in this basement. It was. We had 4 guys down here, plus my kids running around on the other side. This basement was like a sauna by this point already. Yeah, I was just trying to stay loose and relaxed, just waiting for that opening, keep things moving though. I just didn't want to stall him. I wanted to, keep the situation fluid. And I knew I'd get an opportunity like this. Whenever we've grappled after my injury and we were just doing grappling, I've noticed like the last time we did it, just training session after training session, you became a lot more relaxed and a lot more comfortable. Like I felt like I was grappling a Greg from
like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. I felt like I was grappling you from a year and a half ago too. So this specific choke is rear naked choke, but you do like first off, what's your background as far as like martial arts?
I did a McDojo for ages. It was such a waste of time. I was there for like 3 years, Goju-Ryu karate, but it was just a bullshit school. I bounced around from school to school for a bit, and then I did Wing Chun, which was a great experience, as I told Greg before. I enjoyed going to a kung fu school for a bit. But when we would spar, the instructor would just box us, and he would never really like Wing Chun us. So I'm like, oh, I'm getting my ass kicked with boxing, so I'm going to find more of a boxing school. I ended up doing a kickboxing gym, where I got the bulk of my stand-up training from, which was a great experience. And then I did 4 years in the Marines with varying degrees of time where I trained more, trained less. You find a guy that used to box, you find a guy that would grapple, and you'd go a couple weeks training with them. Or it would be pretty serious, we'd actually be pretty focused with it. I mean, it's kind of like how me and you train. We never really bullshit it. We'd always get together and train pretty serious. Then I got out and I did kickboxing again at the same gym. And then I did, for a very short period, jiu-jitsu, which I never got even past white belt. But then me and my wife started making babies and, money and stuff like that. So, that's pretty much, in a nutshell, the bulk of my training. But I think this is where
all right. So yeah, that was the second time you tapped me out. I thought you
Yeah.
were out of the 3.
So, all right, so what I'm doing here is I kind of realized, I wanted to give Greg a bit more of an advantage, just kind of, work to his level that he was bringing, just kind of be more, playing, not possum, because that usually, you're springing a trap, but, just have less of an, advantage when we started. But even I was gassing by this point. It was just so freaking hot down there. And, it's funny because when I train, I have a habit of wearing hoodies and stuff to get hot, but it just didn't
even need it that time.
Yeah, it didn't even match the it's funny because you guys went down to the basement and went back up. And when, up and down, getting everything set up, and I looked at Jen, I go, it smells like sweat and shit down there already.
But so the original point I was trying to get to was when you do rear naked chokes, you do something that's very specific that like no one else ever does. And I think you said you learned this in the military, where like most rear naked chokes, you're trying to get the guy's trachea, like the center of his throat, in your arm, in the crook of the elbow, and you're like basically cutting off.
I do an asshole choke.
You literally put your forearm into the windpipe.
Yeah, which is really
and so I like that more. I like that you do that because that's like
you can kill someone that way.
That's more true to life. That's not that's not safe. You're not like
Well, the thing with the blood choke too, which is kind of neat, is when people pass out from it, they still feel like they can keep going because you're still generally getting just a little bit of blood. That deficit creates and you pass out. So it's kind of like for some reason I always found that really intriguing, like that concept of like, it's like they keep fighting. They always have that mindset, and all of a sudden they wake up. But I try to do blood chokes. It's just so ingrained in me to go for the windpipe.
And as well you should, because if ever in real life that happens,
you're
like that's what you're gonna want to do.
And I had that really bad experience I told you about when I was in the Marine Corps, where it was more of a fight. But someone had to get resuscitated and everything because I was doing my version of the choke, which really I do not recommend that anyone does, because
it is not safe.
Yeah.
And the person that's grappling with you needs to know that like once it starts, once it's in, just tap. It's not even.
Yeah, and I think
don't fight those.
Yeah, and I think with grappling we know each other so much now. You know what I mean? Like, so Justin. I am sorry, Justin. I'm horrible with names. I just remember he was the wrestler guy.
Don't worry. The more you come in and punch us in the face, the more.
Yeah, I pretty much knew I was gonna get an armbar on him. I could just right there. I just knew. He said it came out of nowhere, but I don't think he realized he was posturing up. His arms were extended. It was just so. I knew it was gonna happen. So here, you're gonna notice like right away. He just kind of gets me in a headlock, and here's me breathing heavy. But I was kind of taking it because I got the armbar so quick. When we went again, I really took him very lightly. And I weigh about 160. He has 205 on me. So you'll notice right away he'll get me. He had me in like a half a choke where I had my chin tucked. And at the end, I'm like, oh, I had my chin tucked. That's why you couldn't get it. But you'll see my mindset going into it here is I knew he wouldn't be able to choke me out. I was trying to snake my head out the back, you'll see. But every time I went for it, it felt like he was going to get the advantage and be able to sink the choke more. Right away, he gets it. And I snatch his leg up here with my legs fairly quickly. But
oh, so you had him. Oh, yeah, you're going for. Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, eventually you'll see my legs snake around. And I knew like it was just a battle of attrition. I just had to hang in there. I figured eventually he would go for something else. He actually just eventually breaks and just says, just kind of like, all right, I didn't have anything. I was hoping it would be more him going for a different move.
No, because it's those transitions. Yeah, so you have him half guard now.
Yeah.
It's those transitions where like you can move into a move when you're on the defensive and go into the offensive.
And he was like, so I was in a position where I knew I could survive, and he was pretty strong. And every once in a while you kind of test the waters, try to get my head out the back there, and every time I went for it, you just feel him like cinch up more and get stronger with it. So it's kind of like, fuck it, I'll just hang out here for a while. You know what I mean?
Nice relaxing choke.
Oh yeah, well there's moments, like snot and everything. And I figured it was just kind of almost a rest period because I know he's kind of extending himself more here, and I'm just kind of just hang out, and this is gonna be the most boring part of the video, I think. Where it's just us,
Just two guys hugging.
Yeah.
Racing.
Yeah, I could get some music to play right now, I guess.
Well,
some loving music.
That was half our problem to begin with.
Yeah. And then, on top of it, the basement was hot, let alone stuck in someone's armpit.
and this was now the second round for both of you too, so it's not like it's not like you were both fresh out of the gate.
Yeah. So that's the one thing, because the last couple times we fought, we were fighting outside. Actually, a lot. Because we were doing the stick fighting for a while, and we were always outside.
Once we added weapons, it's a lot more difficult to do that in the basement.
Yeah. So I think we were getting spoiled by the nice cool breeze to cool us off. All of a sudden, we're back here in the dungeon. So this is where we just break it, and we may go again because I know we were doing 4-minute rounds, but it's gonna be over pretty soon. This may actually be it. I am not sure, but I remember just being gassed.
And and you and I generally don't do time. Well, with the weapons, we weren't doing timed rounds, right? We were just setting it for like an hour and just going like.
Yeah,
if we got tired, we'd stop.
With grappling, we would just run a clock to see how long we went, and we would just grapple, pass out. Or not pass out, put someone taps, we start over again.
Except for that one time I blacked out, but whatever.
That one. But no, when we do stand up, we will do rounds. I don't know, for some reason, I just like doing rounds. I don't know, I like the minute break idea time to be like, all right, what am I gonna do?
You never think about it. You never think about it in the beginning, but it's always much needed.
Yeah, for weapons, it just seems more real just to keep it going.
Oh, and you're swinging a stick at a dude's head.
Yeah, yeah.
Someone calls time.
I'm so mentally getting geared up for our next stick fight because I know it's not gonna be malicious, but it's gonna be. I'm so much more like, all right, we gotta get in the pocket there and swing and take some blows.
How it works.
Because up to the stick fight video we have on our channel is the first time, other than me wearing a cup, we had I was wearing gloves, like biker gloves, and I didn't realize just having gloves how much I was using my hands to parry your blows.
Yep.
And even though it stung, I just could keep catch the stick, and then we had the one stick fight video we have posted. It's not as exciting, but you'll hear the whacks on the hands and the knuckles, and at one point I'm like, oh, my hand's numb. And that's why, I would just walk around you because my hand's numb. I don't necessarily want to engage right now with, But I know, our next stick fight, I'm kind of like, all right, got bandages ready, some ice. Let's do this because I'm really kind of just to take it to that next level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Funsies.
Yeah. you know. But I kind of like the sticks that we use right now, the waxwood sticks or whatever, because they're good enough to hurt, but they're not like billy clubs, so they'll break bones. I think they can break fingers and stuff, but, you know. So this is us doing, I think we did 2 or 3 rounds of stand-up, and right away I knocked my ass. So you'll quickly see Greg is a phenomenal stand-up fighter. Like, really good. My kicks, I can kick you in the shins and the knees.
Well, so, and like as my background, you know, being with like traditional martial arts, Tang Sudo was.
That's where you got me in the knee right there. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, because you see me bounce.
Oh, I thought it was like later on.
Yeah, I thought it was too, but I remember that bounce. So yeah, but anyway, go ahead.
Tang Sudo like is what Taekwondo was when it was like a traditional martial art that they used in the military in Korea and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And that's all kicks. That literally all kicks. The only punch they ever had was a reverse punch, which is like when you have it in the chamber at your hip and you just punch straight forward, like a very straight up karate punch. So first, God, X number of years I was doing this, probably 4 or 5 years I was doing martial arts. I never punched because all we ever did was kick.
You always see like how you still have your right hand chambered for that punch.
Yeah, it's just like when I was doing MMA and kickboxing for the most part. You know, my hands. I never focused on my hands as the way to hit the guy, because basically, even in real life, if I get into a conflict, I would kick a dude before I punch a dude. Yeah, you can easily. It's amazing, and I don't know. I mean, you'll probably see at some point in this video how close you're able to get to somebody and kick them with a good side kick or roundhouse is like. You know, because usually like me, I'm shorter than most people I spar with. If I usually close the distance, even against a kicker, they're kind of out of their kicking range. They can't really chamber it the way they need to. Yeah. And I kind of know now we're just boxing, which is better for me. But you, like, I can be almost just right past, like, there's the clinch range and just one step away from that, and you're still chambering these powerful kicks, which is very intimidating. Oh, there's my spinning elbow. So when I do kickboxing with Greg, I just try to come up with all kinds of cool tricks to keep him on his toes, because I'm not a good kicker at all. I'm back to practicing my kicks more and more, because I've been lazy with it. It's been boxing a lot. So whenever I do kickbox, you know, I just kicked him in the quad there. I just try to come up with different things that I can do just to keep him guessing, so it's not a traditional kickbox match. But you'll see he just pummels me in the corner over and over again. So. And I was pretty gassed by this point. I do like my front, like, kind of, what do they call them? The front push kicks, like the. I just call them front kicks. Yeah, they're push kicks. It's a weird because there's like front kicks and it's like more of a push kick. There's a weird term for it. Well, you're almost like aiming for the hip to just stop my movement, right? Like it's not like a kick you're gonna try and take me down with. Yeah, and you hope to throw off the balance. You can get some other shot in there. It's pretty much, I take you out of your game plan and then I get to hit you with something. But, and also, I mean, the amount of, like, from grappling, the amount of exhaustion my legs felt, too, was pretty heavy. There was a club kick to my ribs. But, yeah, it's something you don't think about when you're actually watching, like, boxers box or stuff like that, but, like, the amount of fatigue that builds up. Oh, yeah. And even with that 1 minute break is, nobody comes back in fresh. Yeah, a lot of, untrained people really, they're never able to take into consideration what it's like to have to fight and just be exhausted, especially against another trained fighter. It's so, there we go, there's a high kick. Shut up, no, the spin kick. It's like, look what I can do. But to fight somebody that's trained, be exhausted, and now you're trying to get your body to do stuff, and your body, I feel like I'm always like lagging at that point. You know what I mean? Like, all right, this is what I'm going to do, and it just fucking doesn't happen, and then Greg starts kicking. So I guess we should also say this is like the only formal training we have right now. We get together about once a week or once every 2 weeks and have just, I don't want to say it's open-ended training sessions. This is the most open-ended one. We usually have an idea what we're going to do. Yeah. Stick fight, stand up. That's... Do you like a weapons day or it's a like a hands day? Yeah, just kind of, I guess, mentally prepare for it. Yeah, and just like whatever training we do on our own. Yeah. I have my routines that I do and you have yours. Yeah, and that's why I don't mind when we get together just sparring, because it's kind of like during the week, I'm doing my drills, I'm kicking, I'm punching, practice my slips and, sprawling and stuff like that. So I feel like we maximize our time better Yeah. Plus, it's
You know.
fun.
Yeah, there's a fun
Why I
part.
do
You
it.
know, yeah.
It's the best way for me to spend a
Yeah.
Saturday night.
Drills do get kind of boring and repetitive, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, but you know, then there's so many people out there. Yeah, but you need to do them right now. You know,
Right.
the internet screams at us for saying that. But I always found when I was at the kickboxing gym, I mean, it was a serious gym. I mean, they were laid back. I mean, they were friendly, but I mean, there were a lot of amateur and pro fighters that trained there, and that's when I liked doing drills. So this way, I wasn't always just getting the shit beat out of myself.
Yeah.
I mean, we would do body conditioning where we would just stand there and go, you know, I'd go 1, 2, 3 to your body, and you'd come back, and it would just hurt, and you know, I'd be like, all right, cool, we're doing pad work now. Like, all right.
Thank God he's not gonna hit me.
Yeah, it was kind of like, you know, body conditioning nights were just torture. But we did do a little grappling there. Not really at the time. I wasn't as familiar. You know, I was in high school. I never had formal grappling training till that point. So I thought it was definitely a cut above. Like I thought, like, okay, this is really true jiu-jitsu training. And it wasn't bad grappling. It just, when I finally went to a jiu-jitsu school, I'm like, oh, okay, this is how it's really done. Okay, you know. But there you go.
There's your fancy kick.
So when I did that, I thought it was so much faster, and then I watched it on film, and I'm like, oh. Like, I was like, kind of like, I can't wait to go back and watch that. It's gonna look so cool. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I did it. And then I watched it. I'm like, all right, you landed it, but that's about it.
Yeah, those are. So you know, I don't think I'm not fancy. Like I don't do a whole lot of fancy moves. And like that's one of those fancy kicks that I actually practice. I practice jump spinning back kicks in my regular routines, but it's almost just like to keep my body remembering how to move.
Now, was that on your own, or did you go to a school that was like, okay?
I learned that in Tang Soo Do.
Okay.
There's like kicks that I probably haven't thrown in years that like they used to teach us there.
You don't do a lot. You never really do a lot of crescent kicks, like inside crescent kicks.
No, and so I have and this probably takes a lot of explanation. I have a left shoulder injury. Had to get surgery. Like, you know, it dislocates relatively easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently, after injuring my right shoulder, had to go to physical therapy. And they started having me do physical therapy on my right shoulder, and I started doing it on my left one just to re-strengthen it. And hook punches, I was never able to like throw them after my injury. This was back in like 2005.
Okay.
And I started like adding crescent kicks a lot to my routine because I literally couldn't throw hooks.
Yeah.
And after I started doing the physical therapy, I can actually throw hooks again. So now I'm like throwing hooks instead of just doing crescent kicks.
Yeah.
So I'll probably end up trying to rework them back in because it's
go
kick
for
to
it.
the leg.
I know. Because I know it at least throws you off. Like, okay, I'm gonna get kicked in the leg. It throws off your momentum, hopefully. But I'm starting to more diligently train kicks. For a while, right before my nose got broke, my kicks were actually getting better. My flexibility increased. That whole kicking routine, which I started up again. And I would never say like I was a dynamic kicker, a great kicker, but I was able to get my foot up to your chest and your head, and you know, it's just from my where I had my hip injury. When I go to throw any right leg kicks, when I'm kicking with my right leg, I feel it in my left hip. It's just like a knot. You know what I mean?
Tight.
Yeah, and it just takes a lot of dedicated training to get it to loosen up. And whenever I stop, I was proud of that there. Whenever I stop, I actually was working my way around to set that up. I wanted to set it up. I figured like at the end, you know, we had 10 seconds left. I might catch you kind of sleeping a bit. And I try to work back around. I'm like, I'm just gonna throw a spin kick. So I was proud of that.
Nice.
But anyway, I got old man hips. I have the hips of an 80-year-old, and it takes me a lot to be able to kick. So this is just us boxing, which I was just tired as fuck by this point. You know, I know I'm moving a lot, but that's about all I could really manage in my mind. The punches, like each punch, like I just felt the fatigue.
Yeah.
You know. But it's kind of funny, for doing 2 kickboxing rounds, I was still watching your legs. I was still like even right now, yeah.
For what it's worth, I still wanted to kick you.
Well, like I feel like, like I feel like the danger zone, like literally, like the distance. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm still like my strategy, even though we were boxing, it was really dictated by like that subconscious, like, oh, I'm in this kicking range still. You know what I mean? Like even though I wasn't near punching range, I would still move and hesitate because I knew you could kick me. You know what I mean? It was really affecting me that much because you just constantly kick the shit out of me, literally. Oh, so on a side note, there's the first MMA fight I ever know of, where the guy literally uncontrollably shit himself. Yeah, I saw it the other day. Yeah, the guy was getting choked. I don't think he actually gets choked out, but he taps. And they stand up, and, they're doing the whole, like, all right, go to your corner, and we're going to do the announcement about who won. And the guy just starts crapping himself standing there. Like, he's completely conscious. He just
can't control it.
Yeah, and you see, like, the other guy try to congratulate him, and right away everyone's just, like, walking away. Like, you see, like, 3 people individually walk up to him, and they're like, oh. And I was thinking, like, after watching that, I'm like, imagine being the next fight. Like, they're going to clean it, but it's just, like...
we're gonna move this fight to a little parking lot where it's a little cleaner right now.
Yeah, but like, dude, can we just fight on this side of the ring? Like, I saw the bleach spray, but I just don't want to roll in shit. Then that'd be a strategy. Like, pick them up and carry them over to where the poop was.
So, that's one of those things. There's a guy I used to work with back in the day who He would literally say, like, you may be able to beat the shit out of me, but I will crap in my hand and I will put it in your face.
Yeah.
And you know what? Nobody ever fucked with him. Because I'm pretty sure he was serious.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, I think we're still doing pretty good. I mean, the video can never show how tired you are.
I was just trying to punch you, that's all.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was just hit you in the face.
Well, I forget who it was. I think it was Matt or somebody. They kind of mentioned something about like our technique. I'm like, dude, there's no technique. I mean, there is technique. And we're definitely not brawling. I mean, we're still using technique, but this is tired technique.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just, I'm coming in for the body shot, hoping your arms drop, go up top. It's just nothing too crazy.
No more fancy.
Well, usually I'll get in there with a lot more head work and just stay in the pocket more, but it was just, yeah, that was great. That was a great punch by me right there.
At least they're still punching. Like, at least they're not.
Well,
at least they don't stop.
Well, that's one thing.
The biggest problem some people have.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. I always call it like you get tough when you train a lot and you fight a lot. You get that toughness about you. And I was exhausted, but like in my mind, it's just like keep going. And that's the one thing when it was. God, how long have we been training again for now?
I don't know, like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, something like that.
Yeah. Gee, no way, it's 2 years. Probably a year and a half. It might be 2 years. But all right. So a year and a half ago, I definitely had that softness about me. You know what I mean? Like when you get hit and you're tired, and definitely this is it. You're seeing it here, where like you just get that hardness about you, where you're tired, you hurt, you get punched in the gut, and you just keep fighting. You just keep going.
Yeah, and I guess it seems appropriate to quote Fight Club.
Yeah.
There's a line in there where, I'm probably going to paraphrase it, where he goes like, when a guy first starts Fight Club, he's made a cookie dough.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, he's carved out of wood.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much. I just watched that movie again. That's the closest thing I have to a religion. But so here goes Greg.
Right, so that's Matt. That's the guy who was holding the camera the majority of the time. Matt, no martial arts training. So
I wanted to ask you, you can tell you're taking it easy here. What was your mindset going into this guy? Just literally just kind of let him work?
I've trained with him a couple times. Like he has no martial arts background. His parents never let him do it when he was a kid or anything like that.
Okay. Because I noticed just his stance. He had an idea of like what to do.
Yes. He's always kind of had like a academic interest in it.
Yeah.
And he and I worked together, and him and I kind of became friends from working together. So like, I'd always be like, "Hey, dude, want to put on gloves and try to hit me in the face?"
Yeah.
So
I do that with people.
Him and I had a couple like little training sessions where I would just like have him do techniques, and then we would just like do little light sparring. I'd basically have him swing at me. I call it tag, where they swing at you and you swing back. And so from that, he at least knows where to put his hands and how to do that.
Yeah.
And he, for having no actual formal martial arts training of any sort, like he has good solid punches. He has heart. What I say, like, he's willing to throw a punch. He's willing to.
That's actually a big thing.
That is. When I was on the fight team, when I was doing MMA, when I was fighting and stuff like that, we would get people like revolving door come and go.
Oh yeah.
They would be like they have the I'm going to be the toughest guy in the room syndrome,
Yeah.
and they would get hit a couple times, and they'd be like, no more.
Well, when I was in the Marines and we had like an extended period where we were all boxing, we'd all box together, and you'd still have that revolving door. Like we'd have it like every other day. We get together and train, mainly fight, but you still train.
Yeah.
And my one buddy Felgar was like, "Oh, you gotta fight this guy," and it was like a everyone's bigger than me. I'm pretty small, but he was athletic. I saw him hit the bag and the speed bag, and I'm like, okay. And he's like, "No, trust me, you'll beat him. He's really easy." And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Look at him. Like, I've seen him, like, work out on a heavy bag. There's no way he'd be that easy. And he's like, no, trust me. This will be the easiest, quickest fight you've ever had in your life. And the guy hated to get hit. Like, you threw a punch at him, and it was just automatic cover and look away. And, I mean, to the point where he was just, he just literally had no balls about him to get hit or any of that. Like, it was completely, like, he was just all, like, Hollywood. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, anyway, back to... definitely seem to be doing good, letting him work and everything.
Yeah, and that's really what it was. Like,
yeah.
if he's gonna knock me out, I'll knock me out. But I'm just trying to let him have fun.
Yeah.
If someone who's never really done this before, like I've never taken a swing at this guy before.
Yeah.
Who's never done this, and if you go in there and you're trying to knock him out, that's gonna do one of two things. You're either gonna knock him out, and he's never gonna want to do it again.
Yeah.
And this is fun. I'm not doing this because I'm not doing this because I want to kick someone's ass. I'm doing this because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so I want him to be able to have a similar experience. And martial arts, like everything, is build up.
Mm-hmm.
And him and I were both dead tired by the end of this anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think it shows though too. Me and you were fighting most of the night, and this was his only round. And like people that don't train that regularly or don't train at all, and they get into it, they're like, wow, they're surprised by how tiring it is. Especially for new people, usually they're a lot more just tense, just physically tense, when they're doing it, which will just wear you out that much more.
And that's really like the big mental thing to get over is like to relax when you're able to relax. Like if you're not in hitting range, or like if you're 6 feet away from the guy and you're going to be grappling.
Yeah.
For grappling, I generally stay tense because it's not my thing.
Yeah. So I've always liked grappling more because it's just. I don't know. It's just
wired that way, right?
Yeah, it just comes to me. Even though I never wrestled, I come from a family of wrestlers, and it's almost like in my genes to like grapple. Like
it's in your blood.
Yeah, I mean, almost. It's almost like you're just years and years of everyone wrestling. It's almost just like programmed, like physically you're breeded that way. Like I've always, it just made more sense to me, and it's only recently, probably about. Okay. Anyway, so I'll jump to another topic here. This is our knife training. I know I was just talking about grappling, but. This popped up pretty quick here. So this is how we usually like to end our sessions. If we do a weapons training day, usually we'll just do this anyway. But no matter what, we like to end with this because we always try to to bring realism into it. It's because sometimes you get into that whole sparring mentality and there's rounds and you're just kind of kickboxing. Like we want to always bring like an intense attack,
as close to real life to someone's gonna knife you as as we can get it.
Yeah. So pretty much it's the video showing what we do. One guy is the aggressor. The aggressor, though, is not supposed to spar. You're not supposed to really sit there and stand off. You kind of do that, though, when you have the knife.
No, it's my way. I can't fathom it ever walk up and try to knife a dude. It's just pretend.
It's role play. Ever see that show Oz? Just watch a whole bunch of that, the prison show. Okay, now I'll probably get charged for that because I mentioned a TV show. No, probably.
Fantastic. Yeah. Back to square one. New commentary.
You can probably hear my dog barking in the background. She barks so loud. She's all the way upstairs. But no, the other guy's just supposed to attack really aggressive here. The other guy's just, whatever technique. It's kind of, this is where it's really open-ended,
And the reason we're putting on gloves is because when we first started doing this, we didn't have gloves. And, the guy with the knife can't actually stab you. I could poke you with that wooden thing all I want, and we can, in our minds, I'm stabbing you. But if you punch me in the fucking temple and knock me out, technically, you came on top of that one.
Yeah.
So the gloves allows the guy with the knife to get punched and not literally obliterated. Yeah,
because we always have a fine line between acceptable amounts of injury and injury to where it's like...
Yeah, you and I have both gotten hurt pretty significantly.
And we've each gotten hurt pretty bad doing this. I would say that's where this training is really... I've gotten so much more from it. You'll see a flying headbutt here at one point.
Which is the coolest thing ever. I was so happy when you did that. That was so cool.
I was proud of that roll, and then I got the shit stabbed out of me. But with our training, and this is where I think it's only because it's a small group, usually just me and you can get away with this. We really allow a fine line of acceptable force/injury to be allowed.
Yeah, because
keep it real.
We've both proven that we're gonna hurt each other, not sue each other.
Yeah, and that's the thing where sometimes you'll see it. These two videos were actually, take it for how you believe it, but going
there's
fairly
like sparring with a knife.
Yeah, we actually were going a little easier on each other. The next time we stick fight, you'll probably see what we mean, where we're really just beating the crap out of each other. But once someone gets a distinct advantage, you pedal back. Up to a certain point, you can wail on the other person, but once they're kind of in a bad position, this is me getting pumped up. So that's the one thing where your one buddy said, I'm not as defensive, I should be trying to get away, where my mentality is, and this is just from 4 years in the Marine Corps, it's like, you may have a knife, but we're on equal footing and we're going to fight. When I don't know what your mindset is, but when we do this and someone's coming at me with a knife, my mindset is not to get away. My mindset is I want to punch you in the face, take your knife, and stab you with it. Like, that is my mindset going into this. And I found it interesting when he made that comment, because I'm like, well, what do you mean? I'm fighting the other guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just so 4 years of it getting ingrained into me from the military of like, you fight. Like, you're not here to run away.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
But the mentality I have is kind of like, as it probably sounds really stupid, but like, if this is how I'm gonna go, this is how I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna make you pay for it. If you're, I could walk across the street and get hit by a car, and I could die that way, or I could get knifed.
And also, I still believe though, like, a good offense is the best defense. Trying to run away from someone, backpedaling, you're never gonna go that fast, and let alone turning like someone has a knife and they're coming at you, and turn the other way and running.
Yeah,
I run a lot, but I'm not a sprinter. You know what I mean? It's almost better just to be like, all right, let's just do this thing.
Yeah. Plus, like, you've been recently showing me a lot of videos of guys getting knifed, and like the ones that run away still get knifed. Yeah,
because usually, so I sent Greg a compilation of just knife attack videos, and usually the attacker left hand grabs person, right hand just like a sewing machine, just freaking stab. And it's usually just one of those things where you're gonna have a split second to try to do something where if you're sitting there trying to get away, you already got stabbed too much.
Yeah.
It's better just to be aggressive, fight. Don't. I don't know. I just what I'm getting at. I see in that situation that split second of like sudden violence. Your best bet is to fucking control knife, fight.
Yeah.
That's all that goes through my head. Control the knife and fight.
You say this all the time. You're the hunter.
Yeah.
Not the prey.
No, that's one thing I always, when I used to do firearms training and when I train people in the Marine Corps, I'm like, never think of yourself as the prey. You always have to be the predator. Because, once you think of yourself as the prey, you're at such a mental disadvantage.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You can always win. So we got about 3 to 4 minutes left of the video here. Once you see my 4-year-old son come kicking my ass, we'll wrap it up. But I don't know how much to go longer. I think we go one more time.
At this point, it was just you and Justin now. I don't
know.
Oh, yeah, I think Justin comes at you with a knife.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, yeah.
And this is probably where he got the idea that you were so aggressive. Because Justin's been stabbed before.
Yeah.
Justin is the only one of us that's like legit been stabbed and got out.
And he rightfully, just took all. He said, I think he grabbed the guy's hand, and there was they broke for a moment, and he just ran away. Yeah. Which is doing.
Like if you and I were just talking about we're the hunter, not the prey, but if you can run,
I think for these videos, we got to say legally, whatever the safest, most appropriate thing to do is. This is just a commentary.
Call 911. Call the police.
Yeah, this is just a commentary more of of our mindset. This isn't anything we would.
Just because you and I might do something doesn't mean it's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
I think we've already proven that tonight.
The few people that will probably actually watch this video and listen to all 41 minutes of us talking, go to a martial arts school and let them get for any legal advice, get a lawyer. For any training advice, definitely just go to a martial arts school, sign their waiver, and they'll teach you.
Also, I hand to God, I would actually suggest don't just grab your friends and start putting on gloves and hitting each other. If you really want to be able to defend yourself and spar and fight, martial arts training.
Yeah, we have years of training behind us, and it's really just because right now, how our lives are set up.
Yeah, we both have kids, we both work, we both live in the life.
Yeah, it's too hard right now to spend a bunch of money on a school and then go enough to get something out of it.
Yeah.
That's where I hit my head on the freaking box spring. I had a nice like 90-degree angle.
The biggest injury of the night.
I know, I had a nice 90-degree angle cut. You know, looking tough. So here comes me and my son. So this is the last 2 minutes of video. Whoever does watch this, I hope you enjoyed it. We probably will do commentary. I actually really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was actually fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So we probably we probably won't always do commentary because it's hard for us to get together enough, let alone dedicate time to doing it. But I had a good time doing it. You'll probably get some more of this in the future. Our next video, we might spar today, but definitely be looking forward to a hardcore stick fighting video soon. So
hell yeah.
But all right, bye everybody.
Peace out.